everybody. I'm Jemele Hill, and I am here with the lovely, the talented, the brilliant, and yet also a native Detroiter like myself,
yes,
Diarra Kilpatrick. Now, we are here in your hometown.
Yes, and yours.
And mine as well, right? But the moment belongs to you, as you have a new series, Diarra from Detroit. We decided that we were going to go out and show people what our city is about. How would you describe what your childhood was like in Detroit?
Ooh. In a word, I say idyllic. I think a lot of people don't associate that, you know? I love when you tell people, oh, I'm from Detroit, and people go like, ooh.
Yeah.
Ow. Ooh, what was that like? And I'm always like, it was great.
Well, you use the word idyllic, and that's not a word that people associate with Detroit.
Yeah.
So what was it that was so idyllic about your Detroit childhood?
Growing up in Calumet, it was a lot of kids. We played a lot in the summer. We put the slip and slide out in the back. That's where I learned how to ride my bike. That's where I had my first boyfriend, my first kiss.
Not your first boyfriend?
Yes.
Who was your first boyfriend?
His name was Francois, and I named the character after him.
But Francois from Detroit makes sense. Detroit is French. Yes.
Right, from Detroit.
From Detroit. That makes a lot of sense.
We just passed the Detroit Opera House, the Fox, the DIA. I mean, I was always doing cultural stuff. Mosaic Youth Theater. And I don't know, I feel like the grit of the city, it seemed there was still something always kind of whimsical.
So what are you hoping people learn about your city as we take them on this wonderful tour?
Ooh, I guess just the nuances of it, right? We know a little bit about Motown. We know it can be dangerous. We know it's gritty, but there's nuances, there's beauty, there's love, there's great characters here. And there's great food.
Ooh, yes, and that is where we're first gonna stop, which is a spot called El George's. So, we are here at El George's. We have the famous Detroit Conies.
Okay, I'm very excited about this.
I am super excited about this.
I don't think I've had a Coney since I was home, probably in college.
Okay, for people who may be unfamiliar, I know you got a lot of New Yorkers who swear they invented the Coney dog.
No.
I don't know if you did or didn't, but I know.
No, you didn't.
They probably did.
They did.
But even if they did, we perfected that shit. That's all I know.
Y'all invented a theme park. Not the dog.
All right.
So mine is chili cheese with onions and mustard, which is a pretty typical order, right?
See how that mustard banging? So good. Why do you think Conies mean so much to us?
I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things about the city where I would like to learn, like, what is it about the Coney? Why are there so many of them? Because how many Coney Islands?
So, one, two, three. 3 minutes into this. Is there any substance anywhere? Jemele. Daria, whatever the hell her name is. Detroit is one of my favorite cities in the world, and I've been all over the world. Jemele, you're not doing Detroit any justice at all. 3 minutes into this, there should have been something. We know Ford Field and, Hitsfield, USA, and Motown, and Fox Theater, and Comerica Park, and 8 Mile, and all of these things. We know about all that. Jemele, give me something to chew on. You ain't giving me shit. This is 3 minutes. 3 minutes is plenty of time, especially when you chop things up and you move this around and you move that around. All right, let's watch the rest of this. This, whatever this is. Well, you know who she is.
Basically every corner.
Yeah, there have to be 150 Coney Islands in the city.
You know what? A good comparison to the Detroit Coney Islands, it's our Waffle House.
Yes.
Yes, it is our Waffle House, right? And you know how in Waffle House, where the staff they're great, but they can also fight. So like I have seen some things in some Coney Island, some scraps, like a bunch of stuff. It goes down to the Coney Island. You know, you're gonna see some togetherness, you're gonna get a Coney dog, but you might have to fight your way out at some point or see a.
So that's great. You want to represent the Black community like that, because that's what we're talking about. You know, the food is good for what it is, but we can fight. You don't understand how dumb you sound, but let's continue this ignorance. I was about to say dumminess, but I don't know if that's even a word.
Fight.
I mean, that and the bulletproof glass.
I know.
I do feel like, because we were talking about Golden Bowl for Chinese, which we agree is #1 in the city.
Mm-hmm.
But with Golden Bowl and with here too, I do feel like the thicker the bulletproof glass, the better the meal.
Thicker the bullet.
How you feel?
I feel like you're correct on this.
It's certainly true about Golden Bowl.
Because it's such a fixture here.
She's in the witness protection program. This one.
Why did she walk?
She said, uh-oh. Or she might not have her hair done, because that's a Detroit woman. It's like, Detroit women keep their hair done.
So that's the level that we're at. The thicker the bulletproof glass, the better the food is.
Speaking of which, because you're talking about what you were saying about Detroit and hair, we are known as a hair capital.
Yeah.
So what are your hair memories?
Oh,
in
my
Detroit?
hair memories. So my aunt has a shop called From the Neck Up. And I feel like people, I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel like she invented knotless braids.
What?
I know it's catching on, it's sweeping the nation, but she was doing knotless braids in 1970. So she put a lot of love in my hair. And then my other cousin had a hair shop. I don't even remember the name of her salon, but that was when I was older and I started getting weaves and stuff.
Oh.
And we also would sit in her shop and she would do my hair and make me feel, you know, fly and cute. And it is interesting that that's probably the #1 business of Black women in the city. Would you think that there's a lot of entrepreneurs in that space, in that Black female entrepreneurs in that space? So it's been important, I think, to our economic solvency in the community is the beauty shop.
So I'm glad you brought up hair because inevitably we have to show people what the style, what the fashion is in Detroit. So our next step.
No, Jemele, you brought up hair. Oh my God, this is difficult.
We are headed to the Avenue of Fashion. All right,
Let's get it.
Let's go.
Livernois and Otter Drive.
We're here on the Avenue of Fashion,
Yes.
right? And the Avenue of Fashion is basically a collection of different businesses. You got art galleries,
Yes.
clothing stores.
Yes.
But this place in particular.
Yes.
This is Motown Studio, Motown Photography.
Yes.
Anybody who had to have senior pictures for graduation, this is where you come.
Yes.
I got my pictures here.
Yes.
Did you get yours
Yes,
here?
absolutely.
Yeah, okay, on your show, on Diarra from Detroit.
Yes.
Fashion is a big part of it.
Yes.
Detroit fashion. in
Detroit
particular.
fashion is a big part. I just shop. It's supposed to be on the Avenue of Fashion.
Oh, okay.
So that's part of this world. All kinds of fashion, you know, from Danger, who's like kind of like that hood dude. He has his own little bit of swag. And then at the gala, you get to see Detroit come out in its finest sort of cocktail attire, which is nice too.
Why do you think Detroiters are so into the type of fashion that we're into? Because it's more bold.
Yeah.
Like it's very colorful. Like
Yeah.
why do you think that connects and resonates?
We don't have a lot of subtlety about the fact that we're here, that we made it, and that we made it to your event. And I don't think anybody wants to be missed.
Detroit has always been into designer clothes.
Yeah.
The color has always reigned supreme.
Yeah.
But it's like Coogis were
Yes.
huge.
Yeah.
When I was coming up, the Coogee sweater, y'all saw Biggie has one for those outside of
I tried
Detroit.
to just steal one out of Simply Casual.
But we still wear
Coogee.
Coogee.
I would wear it. I would wear it today.
But again, Coogies were big, Jabots were big.
Yeah.
Like it's just
Pelly Pelly.
Pelly Pellies. Oh, Alwasam.
Alwasam
Was
yes.
a huge Detroit
designer.
sort of designer.
Their coats.
The
So fly.
Shirlings, we were into the Shirlings. Leather, period. Like you couldn't be from Detroit without a leather coat.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so we were into all
Or
of
a
that.
leather jumpsuit.
Or a leather jumpsuit. See, I see what I see what you did there. Always bringing it back to the roots. So what was your favorite look on Diarra from Detroit?
Ooh, I have so many, but I really, really do like that rendezvous. I had an outfit where I had to go to a meet, like a secret rendezvous meet, and I had to go to a gala. And I had to serve for both things.
Okay.
And so we ended up doing like a plunging neckline and this kind of fuchsia satin one piece. And with the hood.
Okay.
So we were giving like sort of Grace Jones, you know, clandestine meets gala. That was my fave.
Okay.
And that day, Morris was in like a blue satin suit too.
That sounds very Detroit.
It was very Detroit. It could have been Easter Sunday, but we looked good.
Okay.
We looked good.
When it comes to fashion, I know people may not normally associate Detroit with fashion.
Really?
But I think they associate us with hair.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? And there's a lot of hair salons that are on the Avenue of Fashion as well. But like, I think the casual observer of Detroit doesn't necessarily.
Yeah.
So what would you say to somebody who had never been to Detroit if you were describing like what our style was? How would you describe it to somebody else?
Oh, I would say bold, ostentatious, color, vibrancy, texture, because we do, like you said, leather and fur.
Right.
And just swag. Everybody has their own particular way of putting things together.
I think we should dive even deeper into your personal history because I understand that your mom grew up around the corner from the Motown Museum.
She did.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's go. So we didn't get kicked out of the Motown Museum because we didn't go in, but we certainly were not allowed to video there, so we just left there, couldn't film there.
They said stop in the name of love.
They did.
So we did.
We did. We stopped in the name of copyright, that's for sure. But that is Detroit's musical legacy and history. We are at a place where a lot of Detroit history is. The Charles H. Wright African American Museum, which until the African American Museum in DC was built, this was the largest African American museum in the country. You have some roots here. What are your memories of this museum?
I was at the Charles H. Wright all the time. You know, Kwanzaa ceremonies, all the exhibits, I was always there. And then also I came here and performed my one-woman show when I graduated from college. So that was a beautiful thing. I came as a kid and got to perform for my community in here.
Oh, what was the name of the one-woman show?
It was called The Devil is Beating His Wife. And you know what that means.
Is that raining?
Yeah, when it's raining and the sun is shining at the same time.
I felt like my black card was being tested right there. I was like, it's raining, right?
It was. But some people think it was like a dramatic, a dramatic play. But it was really just about the sayings that get passed down from the South into the North.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, so a little bit of history there as well.
Yeah.
All right, well, we have more history to explore, so we're gonna take a quick little tour inside your old stomping grounds.
Let's do it. That was really great.
That was what?
This stuff is so cap. It's so vain. Some of our closest cousins live in Detroit. We're not fucking worried about the Charles whatever museum, even though I've been there. We're not worried about Comerica Park. We're not worried about Hitsville, USA, Motown. We're not worried about none of that shit. I go with my cousins that live down there, men for the most part, and we sit around and we conduct ourselves as men. You see these women, these two, this is just so vain. They're going to a shop talking about prom dresses and fur coats and Coogee sweaters from way back in the day and all this type of crap. Well, I do believe that history is a great thing. But what I don't agree with is that's not a crutch for what's going on today. They're saying that if you forget your history, you're doomed to repeat it. Which is probably true. We have to remember what happened back in the day. But you have to progress. You have to progress. The J community What happened with them? That happened with them, and they have progressed exponentially. When the conversation gets tough, we just go back to, well, what about in, I don't know, 1894, when they ain't got shit to do with today. And these two, they're continuing to carry that torch.
Wonderful.
I think there's so many kinds of artists. Like we think about like paintings and visual artists, but there are artists like the clothes that she makes are art.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Well, we just finished looking at the Ruth Carter exhibit at the Charles H. Wright Museum. Ruth Carter, very renowned, celebrated costume designer, Hollywood Academy Award winner. So which Ruth Carter outfit you taking home with you?
Dora Milaje. I'm
Really?
taking, I would like to borrow it for the weekend.
For the weekend.
For the weekend, and get a babysitter.
That's okay. That sounded a little too adult. I'm gonna pick Queen Ramonda.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So I could just sit there, just looking regal on my couch. That would be amazing. And just sweat.
Watching Love Is Blind and the Queen Ramonda.
Right.
Yeah.
Reminding myself of the dating hellscape that I am no longer a part of. That I've avoided. Absolutely. So we got us a little bit of history, and now we'll see what's next on this tour of Detroit. Wow, we're here at the famous Fox Theater.
Yes.
So many wonderful historic entertainers have come through here. So
Yes.
many comedians, like all manner. What do you think was the best show or best performance you saw here?
If you asked me in middle school, I probably would have said Immature.
You saw him.
I know it would not be as interesting, but would you venture to talk about any businessmen / women that came from Detroit? Or do you constantly have to go to entertainers? Which, with the Cat Williams interview, we know what entertainment is about. I'm not even going there. But the theme of this video is just so vain. It's just so vain. It's weak. It's easy. She has a whole leather bodysuit on. It's the same old shit that has been fed to y'all, and y'all just buying into it. And you should be mad at her. That is Jemele Hill and this Diarra, whatever the fuck her name is. I don't even know who she is. But and I'm gonna choose to sit through this nonsense because this oh my gosh, this is some. All right, they look stupid to me and a lot of other people.
Immature.
Listen, what a treat to come here and see Immature, Roger from Sister Sister, live and in color. But I think probably the most epic would be, I think I have to give it to Auntie Nita. Anita Baker.
That's a good one.
I feel like she's the soundtrack to my childhood. Like when I think about my mother cooking dinner and me like doing my homework, it's like Anita Baker playing in the background.
So since we're talking about music, I have to ask you.
Yeah.
Why wasn't it so important to you to do T-Babies It's So Cold in the D? I have a love-hate relationship with that song.
Right.
I love it,
Yeah.
but I hate that sometimes people look at it and like, oh, that's Detroit? You
Right.
know? So why was it important for you to include that?
Well, it's iconic, for one.
It is.
It's iconic. And it is that thing where people around the country clowned us. They were like, oh, this is what y'all going through Detroit? This is what was...
But they clowned and bopped at the same time.
But they mostly clowned. They might have bopped, but most people were like, baby, are you on the beat? And so I wanted to reclaim it. I wanted to honor her. Because you know what? She used what she had to do what she did. But I wanted to reclaim it, and I wanted to make it a piece of beautiful music.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I wanted to reimagine it and let it shine for what it is. Because lyrically, it's not bad. It's not bad. So I'm excited for people to see what we did with it.
It's so cold in the deer. How the we supposed to keep peace? All on the mind, murking and doing time.
So I kind of feel like Diarra from Detroit is going to be sort of a Detroit guide for dummies, right? Almost. I mean that in the most positive way.
I hope
People
not.
are gonna learn a lot. And that also includes the lingo.
Yeah.
And what up, though,
What
is
up,
a
though?
big part of our lingo.
Yeah.
So explain to people who do not know why this is our phrase, like what does what up, though mean?
Okay, you might come from my Detroit card, because for me it just means what up. Where we just have to be extra. I have no idea what the etymology is of the dough.
Right.
Do you?
I do not, but I do know, as someone once said to me, it is a question and a statement.
What up, though?
Right? But it's the way that we acknowledge each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, if you are in any room across America and you just say, what up, though?
Right.
Where
What the
313 at,
fuck?
or whatever.
It's like a secret handshake.
It is.
God.
Everybody, make sure that
This
you watch
shit
Diarra from
is-
Detroit streaming on BET Plus. Keep it locked, tap in.
Because everybody can't physically come to Detroit.
That's right.
The next best thing is to watch Diarra from Detroit.
Oh
Heck
my
of an
God.
invitation and a plug. Come be a part of this Detroit community.
Hi!
This is the last brain cell. What the? This is comical. This is dumb.
Wow. It feels really good because of what it represents, which is a lot of hard work, a lot of patience, and a lot of helping other people make their dreams come true as well. There's a lot.
And what I'm talking about is I'm not going to diminish this young lady's accomplishments. I'm purely just talking about this interview. I don't know this lady. I know Jemele Hill, like, publicly. I don't know her personally. This Diarra from Detroit, I don't know nothing about this. Haven't watched no shows, don't know nothing about that. So I'm not talking about that. I only talk about things that I know about. But this interview, this shit, brain cells are melting. This is dumb, it's stupid, and it's bad. Oh my goodness.
A lot of people in the show too who are having their first opportunity to be series regulars. So the whole thing, it feels really good. And also to represent from my city, the city that has shown me so much love. Don't make me cry. Cut.
That's 15 minutes I can never get back. Oh my Lord. I've never watched anything like that. That's just, maybe I should watch some more of that to enlighten myself and continue to figure out why Black folks are in the situation that we are in right now, because that was just terrible and vain and dumb and stupid. Oh my goodness.